Little Red Riding Hood is a classic fairy tale that tells the story of a young girl who sets out to visit her grandmother and ends up encountering a wolf along the way. The story begins with Little Red Riding Hood's mother sending her daughter to take a basket of food and medicine to her sick grandmother who lives on the other side of the forest. As Little Red Riding Hood walks through the forest, she meets a wolf who stops her and asks where she is going. Little Red Riding Hood, being an innocent child, shares the details of her visit to her grandmother's house without hesitation. The wolf quickly comes up with a plan to eat both Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother and pretends to be friendly by encouraging Little Red Riding Hood to gather flowers for her sick grandmother. Little Red Riding Hood, being naive, does as she is told and takes a longer route than necessary, which allows the wolf to get to her grandmother's house first and eat her. When Little Red Riding Hood arrives at her grandmother's house, she does not immediately recognize the wolf and mistakes him for her grandmother. The wolf, pretending to be her grandmother, suggests that Little Red Riding Hood get into bed with him. However, before the wolf can eat Little Red Riding Hood, a woodsman hears her cries for help and rushes to the cottage. Using an axe, the woodsman rescues Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother from the wolf, who dies. The story of Little Red Riding Hood has been retold in numerous adaptations over the years, highlighting various emotions and lessons, including caution and consequence, safety and security, and the importance of not talking to strangers or wandering off into the woods. The story also symbolizes the sense of naivety, as Little Red Riding Hood becomes the victim of the wolf's predation due to her innocence and trust. In conclusion, the Little Red Riding Hood story has become an enduring classic because it speaks to some of our most fundamental fears and lessons. It teaches us about the importance of being careful in unfamiliar situations and wary of strangers. The story also highlights the underlying message of being self-reliant and taking precautionary measures to avoid harm.